They say the mirror was found in an abandoned mansion, its surface covered in dust, until someone wiped it clean. The first reflection wasn't their own, but a twisted version of themselves, gaunt and hollow-eyed. Then the vision shifted, a fire consuming their home. Screams, the reflection mouthed words they couldn't hear. Days later, the fire happened exactly as they saw. The mirror didn't lie, it only showed what was coming. A woman bought the mirror at an estate sale, unaware of its history. The first time she looked, she saw herself standing in a hospital room, weeping. A body lay on the bed, covered by a sheet. She turned away, shaken. Days later, her husband collapsed unexpectedly. In the hospital, she found herself in the exact scene from the mirror. The reflection had been a warning, but she hadn't understood in time. A man tested the mirror, skeptical of its power. He stared into it, expecting nothing. But the reflection changed. He saw himself running through a dark alley, panting, terrified. A shadowy figure followed, getting closer. He turned away, dismissing it as a trick of the mind. That night, he took a shortcut home. The alley looked familiar. Then he heard footsteps behind him, just like in the mirror. A teenager dared his friends to look into the mirror. One by one, they saw disturbing visions, each worse than the last. One girl saw herself trapped in a coffin, screaming. Another saw her own reflection grinning back, but with black, empty eyes. The boy who started the dare saw nothing at all. He laughed, until days later he vanished without a trace. The mirror had shown him his future. Nothingness. A collector, obsessed with cursed objects, acquired the mirror. He documented every vision, convinced he could change fate. One night he saw himself in a morgue, his own lifeless body on a metal table. He tried to avoid it, stayed home, locked his doors. But fate found him anyway. A gas leak, an explosion. The next morning, his body was exactly where the mirror had shown. The future couldn't be changed. A woman inherited the mirror from her grandmother, who warned her never to look too long. Curiosity won. She saw herself at a wedding, dressed in black, standing beside a grieving groom. She wasn't the bride, she was the reason for the sorrow. Days later, her best friend announced her engagement. The woman tried to change things, but the wedding came. And just as the mirror had shown, tragedy struck. The mirror's last known owner tried to destroy it. He smashed it with a hammer, but the shards still reflected something impossible. His own death over and over. He buried the pieces thinking it was over, but the visions didn't stop. Every reflective surface, windows, water, even his own eyes, showed him the same fate. The mirror was gone, but his curse remained. Some things can never be escaped.